Okay, we are live. Father Miller here. Welcome back to the Nerd Father. Roman, good to see you.
Hey, Father, how are you?
Tired. It's been a long week. It's the first week back in school. So
How's it going?
It's going actually really good. It's good. It's nice. Puny Priest smashed TV because She-Hulk is bad. Did you see She-Hulk?
I did.
I'm sorry.
I did. It's my new Kenobi.
I think it's worse than Kenobi.
It is. Well, it's certainly way more in your face. It's not even trying to be anything other than what I was hoping it wasn't going to be. Or in your face. Hey, Colin. It's not even trying to be anything other than what I was hoping it wasn't.
Okay, that was weird.
That happened to all of us, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Wow, that's bizarre.
I just kept thinking Ethel Merman's anything you could do, I could do better.
Mm-hmm. No, absolutely. Well, it got me from the opening scene in the office with Jen and her assistant and the white male lawyer, because I don't know what his name was because it's irrelevant. But as soon as her assistant starts fawning over her, telling her, "Oh my God, you're so great. This is so great. This is the greatest thing ever. Great, 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 great." And the dude's like, we might want to rethink. And then they usher him out of the office because they assume he's being an ist. And it really didn't let go from that point. And through the entire show, you got beat in the face with that message after message after message. And it was painful for me to get through because it's supposed to be a comedy. There wasn't a lot of comedic elements there that I found to be mildly amusing.
Gotta say the post-credit scene is what set my explosion off.
Well, because that's what she was talking about in the car. I mean, it was getting set up for that, and then it went back to that post-credit scene, and it's like,
well, then she tried to do that South Park America.
Yeah, yes, exactly. Yeah, I got the joke, but it wasn't good. Because
the only one that should come close to dropping it is Fury, just because he's Samuel L. Jackson.
Mm-hmm. And go ahead, Colin.
And there I was going to spend the weekend watching it. God,
I'm sorry to have spoiled this for you.
I'm not
sorry. Was the microphone not picking up the sarcasm?
I said I'm not sorry.
I must admit, I had no interest in the show. I don't know the character. I haven't read comics for many years, but everything I've seen has made me think, nah.
I'm literally watching it for content. That's why I'm watching the show.
I have one question. Whereabouts in the MCU timeline does this show take place?
This is after
Endgame.
Right.
But I don't know where after Endgame, though.
Okay, no, that's fine. It's all anything because after Endgame, in which case, it's been established, at least within the storyline, whether or not Bruce Banner knows this, that Captain America was married to Peggy Carter, for 60 odd years, right?
Well, my whole thing with that is,
and yet apparently, Super Lawyer thinks she's going to be a virgin after 60 years of marriage.
No, I don't think she may not have been privy to that. I'm sure. Bruce knows. Yeah. But I don't believe that she may have necessarily had that data. Well, remember, she's not been in the inner circle here.
Right, but also remember the Captain America 2, Rogers the Younger is at Peggy Carter's funeral. So if he goes back in time, is he bilocating his younger version and his older version being in the same place at the same time?
It's,
I would
He's
say
one of the
yes.
guys that carries the coffin, if I remember correctly.
that's an interesting question. So, when he goes back in Endgame, does he go back in Endgame? And then what happens to that Steve Rogers when Steve Rogers, the younger Steve Rogers, is pulled out of the ice? That's an interesting question, actually, Father.
I just saw Rebecca Gold's comment. I just put the link again in the stream for those that want to join. I don't know. I mean, it just seems like he's in two places at one time.
Yeah.
One
Yes.
timeline.
Time travel.
I mean,
Hey,
Ian.
anyway, Ian.
Sorry, 1 sec.
That's okay.
Hello.
So
Hello.
we could hear you.
you're good,
Oh,
buddy.
good. What are we talking? What are we talking?
We're
talking
talking
about-
the wonders of She-Hulk and the bilocation possibilities of Steve Rogers traveling back in time, but then being at Peggy Carter's funeral.
Oh,
That was
right.
that's been my complaint for the last 4 or 5 years, ever since Endgame.
Yeah.
Well, I did watch She-Hulk, the first episode of She-Hulk.
I'm
I'm
sorry.
sorry, so did I.
I know. You know what? Right? It was all about slanging off boys and men, wasn't it? That's all it was about.
No, I didn't get that at all. I don't even know what show you were watching. I didn't see any of that.
I contented myself with that,
It's crazy, isn't it?
like
That's,
a Messiah took it on himself.
I don't understand why. Well, I'm just tired
No,
of
you
it.
know why.
Yeah.
You know why it's
We know
there.
why,
You just
don't
don't
we?
want it to be there.
But,
I don't want it to be there.
Why do this? I don't understand. Does these people hate men so much that they have to say that Captain America's a virgin and make Bruce Banner turn
He
him
was
into
so
an
bad,
idiot?
wasn't he? He was a bumbling fool through the entire episode. They made him into a bumbling fool.
Did
Do you know
Remember-
what? I just
He
think
used
they're
to be
just trying
scary.
they're trying to destroy men.
Yes.
It really does look like. I'm really sad about that, though. Generally, this episode made me felt sad.
Did
It
she
really did.
did
I was
she
bored.
actually say to Bruce that she was better than him because her blood had cured him?
No, it was everything.
No,
that was,
Oh,
Because
No,
she
no.
didn't have to fight herself.
why did they have that stupid fight as well? It made no sense. I have a niece and cousins and whatever. I don't fight with them over a stupid argument. Yeah, the whole thing wasn't funny either.
No,
Was it meant to
the
be a
writing-
comedy?
Was the problem. The writing was so bad from beginning to end of the episode. There was no good writing in this. The only scene that I found slightly less revolting than the other scenes was when they were in the car before the accident, talking, and he was talking about the Hulk inhibitor, and then the accident happened, and then it went. I mean, the opening scene was bad enough, but the car accident scene was kind of the only thing that I found to be like, okay. And then literally everything else from the car accident was a steep drive off the cliff.
I mean, the thing I don't get about the Hulk inhibitor is I understand now that's what prevented him from hulking out as soon as the accident happened. But what would be the point? I mean, if he's Professor Hulk, he can control himself.
I think it was supposed to, in this, it wasn't really explained particularly well. It was because I remember his arm got damaged in the the Infinity Stone. It was supposed to be so he could help heal, though I don't really understand why in human form he's going to heal better than when he's in Hulk form. I don't know. But that's why he was wearing it.
Yeah, but gentlemen, Rob, we got a bigger problem than this. We really have, right? This is this kind of show, and there are many coming from Disney and before this show as well. It's an attack on men, and you know, I'm you know what? You guys can joke about this, but I literally felt really, really bad after watching that episode, and I think I won't watch any Disney ever again now because it's obvious as an attack, and no matter how subtle or blatant it was, this is a real problem. You know, what are they teaching young boys now? You know, going forward, I give up seriously. And every time I talk to my brother about it, he's like, "Who are you talking about?" It's like,
Mhm.
God, can you not see what's going on? And you know what? I sound like a conspiracy theorist and someone that's just kind of a geek that's talking about, I don't know, Doctor Who's shoes or something like that. But this is more than that. This is something that's trying to destroy manhood.
Yes, definitely.
It's true, and I've said that to several of my friends. And by the way, hi everybody.
Okay.
I quietly
Snuck in.
Came in. Yes, snuck in.
Hi.
This does happen, okay? And I've been saying this for years that they're quietly trying to indoctrinate the next generation.
Hmm.
I've been saying like Gary said it, as I said, every comics, everybody that we know has said this. So, Ian, you're totally right on that. They just they want that tide to change.
Well,
You know,
But why
also-
we haven't done anything?
Because-
We haven't done seriously. They're trying to tell us to stop nature going in
Mhm.
throughout and through us. That's what they're saying.
The thing I find funny is they keep talking about how it's been review bombed, but as this chart shows, the opposite is true as well.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, according to this, it has 6,600 up 10 votes.
So I think that seems high to me, but I do understand the both
yeah, that
extremes of the
is.
chart. You're not
Yeah.
going to be in the middle on this show. You're either going to be some, I'll use nice terms, wackadoo weirdo who
Mhm.
likes this type of content, or you're going to be, a regular human. And heavens forbid, if you actually have an affinity for comic books, you're going to hate the show.
Well,
Oh,
I
yeah,
saw.
I
I,
get
got to
told
show
off.
this.
Yeah.
This was on Bruce Campbell's Twitter. This might be some Disney I'd be actually excited for.
Chainsaw
that.
Willie coming to
Chainsaw
a theater near you.
Did you see the credits at the ending though? Almost every one of the credits was women.
Yep.
Everyone from the producers straight across. It was.
Yes.
It was.
Yeah. Did you see
as
the
I-
photo shoot of that gaggle of hens together?
It's disturbing. It really is disturbing. We can joke about it all I want, but if this keeps going, right? It's just you as a man, you won't be able to do anything.
Yeah.
Now it's or won't be able to do won't be able to do what what men are supposed to do, if you know what I mean. It really makes no sense. Oh, I hope
Well,
somebody stops this crap. I really
On
do.
a better note, did you see Bullet Train then?
No, I was going to see it
I
today,
still
but
haven't got to see
work stopped me from going to
I
see
still
it.
haven't seen it either.
Is
But
it
yeah,
really
I definitely want to see it, Father. I'm definitely going to go and see
Because
it.
I keep getting told that it's really, really good.
It is really good.
Yeah.
So,
I saw the last episode of Soul today, and I thought it was really good. But I won't talk about that just in case
I don't
nobody's
think I
seen
know
it.
that one.
Better Call Saul.
Oh yeah, no, I haven't seen
I
it.
am not even remotely caught up on that series, and I
Mm.
need to redo the series now.
I
Yeah.
haven't gone into Breaking Bad. Never mind that one. I was actually been going back to classics. I've actually yesterday I listened to the what I would one of the few Big Finish ones I've actually been looking forward to, which was their UFO box set.
Mm.
And they're all effectively prequel. All three stories are effectively prequels to the series. Although there is a scene in there which is also the scene, if you remember it, in the first episode where they get attacked in the car by the aliens, and it was actually quite. I enjoyed it, but there's a few things they mentioned. They brought up a few buzzwords in the interviews which made me think,
Mm.
So I shall reserve judgment till I've listened to the other two episodes.
I don't like Big Finish at all.
I've
yeah. I used to. I just don't like it no more.
I've
I got
pretty
nothing.
much I've pretty much given up on their Doctor Who stuff.
Yeah.
Some of the Doctor Who spin-offs I actually quite enjoyed the Paternoster Gang spin-offs, although they did get a bit samey towards the end. But I generally tend to enjoy their stuff that's not Doctor Who.
I this is how bad it is. I actually booked tickets to see Wrath of Khan I can't remember anniversary it is, and E.T. and Jaws is shown in IMAX.
yeah.
E.T. shown in IMAX. Wrath of Khan, something,
I
is
think
it
that was supposed
20th
to be
anniversary?
today.
Yeah, I've booked my tickets to see it. And that just goes to show that entertainment today is absolutely rubbish, isn't it? The entertainment today.
So Ian's having to go back 50 years to see things
Exactly.
he likes.
Exactly. It's crazy, isn't it? When you
Let's
think
see.
about it.
I've
Well,
been,
it's not.
I know. It's sad. I think it's sad.
I'm kind of binge. I'm kind of semi binge watching cop shows at the moment because
Oh, yeah.
I've just started season 7 of Death in Paradise, where it's starting to go. Yeah, I've seen this story before, and I'm on and off binge watching Monk.
I like Monk.
Yeah, I
thought it was
liked
alright.
Monk. Yeah.
I think it was okay.
Mm.
Yeah, and it's kind of like Columbo, but Columbo's much better, obviously.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's okay. It tried its best.
It was a blessing and a
Oh,
curse.
Yeah.
it was last week. I'm sorry. I just was looking up the ET thing. It was last Friday. It was airing.
Over here, it's September. It's
Okay, well,
opened in IMAX in September.
Yeah, it was only last week here.
It's my favorite film of all time. E.T. I think.
Really?
Yeah, it
E.T.?
is.
That
Yeah.
little fella?
Well.
I
If you
get sad when he turns white and almost dies. It makes me sad, so I can't watch it.
okay, well, the reason why, the reason a lot of people don't understand this. The reason why I like it so much is because of these certain factors. One, it was directed brilliantly. Two, the performances were fantastic out of everyone in that film. Three, the story was surprising, and thirdly, it's everything about that film is great as far as I'm concerned. Obviously, apart from the animatronics in certain parts, but it's close to almost being a brilliant movie. It's close to almost being 10 out of 10 for me. And that's why it's one of the best movies I've ever seen.
Well,
in my
if
life.
they remake it, they can star this person. I won't say the name
God.
because I don't want to.
Oh,
But
no,
they could
no,
play.
no,
They could play
no,
the role of you know
Oh.
who I'm thinking of.
Oh,
no.
Actually,
No.
logically, I think I know who that must be in that case.
And I know who that's going to be, too.
Elliot.
Yes, I thought yes.
See, I prefer
I
the other
didn't.
alien
I
film
did not
of that.
dead name. I did not
I
dead
didn't-
name.
I did not.
We're not naming.
I prefer the other alien film of that same year, The Thing. A
The
little
Thing.
less upbeat, but that was my pick of the year.
The thing is brilliant as well, but the thing is though, haha, yeah, the thing is though, I'm a director, right? So I know what good direction is, and I know what good photography is, and I know what good performances are, and ET has it 100% right across the board. The Thing is questionable, even though it's a brilliant film and it's a classic now. It is very questionable. The there's no characterization in The Thing at all. Let's face it. I mean, Windows. What do we know about Windows? Nothing. But he gets killed by the alien. Do you know what I mean? Those kind of things. But it's still a classic. I don't want to take anything away from it. But I'm just saying that ET is almost the perfect film, almost.
So since I couldn't go to Vegas, I was binging Blackadder the last 2 days.
Blackadder's great.
I just wanted to play this part. I love the title part.
Nobody ever talks about season 1 though, Blackadder, though, do they?
I like season 1. Frank Lesson.
Yeah.
Oh, is Emerald season 1? Have you seen
My
Avatar?
love is a.
Do you actually get that sort of? How does he used to do all those? Ian, who does he used to do all those records, those compilation records?
K-Tel.
KTEL.
Oh yeah.
I get that. You know, I had to go halfway through that. I suddenly realised what they were taking the Mickey out of because you don't see these days.
Yeah, it is a great show.
I actually was in Facebook jail for about an hour because of that quote I posted on Twitter about Mrs. Miggins not knowing pain until I stepped this fork in her head.
Yeah.
Oh, dear.
And Facebook took that as violating
Oh,
community
no.
streams.
Oh no, it was a joke. We can't have
It
jokes
was.
They're not good with
nowadays.
jokes.
Yeah, I'll bring up the
Facebook does not
exact
get humor.
quote.
I
No,
really-
they do not.
I
But-
really hate that.
But Facebook is actually good and appealing because I did get it appealed. Trying to bring it up.
I saw something on TikTok today, or was it yesterday? This guy was talking to this complete lunatic of a woman. She said that if you don't call me by my pronouns, you're actually committing violence towards me. She said.
Mhm.
There we go. This is the thing that Facebook took as going against community standards.
So, I mean,
Oh, what? Yeah, really? They have.
Yeah.
You know what I'm thinking?
I
Father,
disagreed with it, and
I-
they did apologize.
You
for it,
you know
so-
what it was? I think that wasn't a human. That was a bot that hit that.
Oh yeah, it is.
Yeah.
That was a
probably.
bot. That wasn't a human.
It
because
is.
A human would have found that funny if they didn't have stick up their ass. You know what I mean? Well, damn it, I did it. Oh, go ahead.
I'm not going to do it. No, you're fine.
I got my
Great.
first copyright hit from YouTube yesterday.
what
It was
on
a
what?
proud moment for me.
Yeah.
So I did a live stream yesterday, and it was our best. It was supposed to be a one show that ended up covering 3 weeks because it just took too long because we're nerds and we talk too much. So it was the best 5 movies, our favorites from the last 5 decades. Of course, that took way longer than I thought. So we finally were in the 2020s, and one of my panel members picked the movie Belle, which I wasn't familiar with at all. It's an anime piece. And so we just went through it and watched about 1 minute of the trailer with the sound off, and I got the copyright notification. You know, your stuff's not going to be available until you pull this much out of your video. And I'm like, all right, fine.
They're
So-
already, yeah.
Because I figured with the sound off, I would probably be safe, but clearly I was not. So
Yeah, it's on YouTube.
shorter clips.
Well, I mean, I got a total copyright block, not a strike, but a copyright block when I tried to send Ian the Blackadder clip of charades where they're basically saying illegitimate son of a female dog.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is, I mean,
Yep.
the BBC, I think, I mean, we've had stuff. I mean, I've been posting shorts, very shorts, as in under 30 seconds, because that don't seem to get copyright on FFSI. And I actually put up one Blackadder clip, and I've got 2 clips, which in my mind are still the best 2, completely unconnected, the 2 best series last scenes ever. And that's Blackadder goes 4th.
Blackadder goes fourth, yeah.
And Blake 7. But we've had a few of those, and if you go a little bit, well, 1 or 2 we put up with BBC, I think they've been BBC, and you not only get, you actually get a blocked in all territories.
You know, I wonder. I'm just just thinking. I rewatched Blackadder 3 recently, and I just wonder if it ended it the way it did, where he's victorious, as if they weren't going to do the 4th. Because if I remember the 1st and the 2nd, doesn't he die in both of them?
He does in all
He
does
dies
in
every
all of
single time.
Not the 3rd one.
Well, except for that time, yeah.
But that's the reason. I thought maybe that was only going to be a trilogy, and that's the way that they would end.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to rewatch the 3rd one because I thought the German the German killed them all off in the end and took over as
Well,
the queen.
I don't want to give away too much of it, I guess.
Sorry,
if you
no.
forgot.
Oh, spoilers for something. Yeah.
The last episode did make me feel very sad, though.
Yeah.
When they came out the trench.
Blackadder's,
Yeah.
Blackadder goes
Mhm.
fourth.
It did because even though he was a horrible person, he made me laugh so much that you actually want him to actually survive, don't you? So, but it did make me feel very sad.
Well, there's one of the things is Blackadder. I think it came in for a lot of criticism from some side. There was a bit in that which I think there were 2. I mean, I'm not that interested in World War One. My historical interest stopped a couple of 300 years before that as my main interest. But there are 2 clips, I think, which are probably the best description, the best short, sharp explanations for what happened to World War One that I've ever seen. One of them is Horrible Histories.
Oh, that's a kids thing.
Yep.
Mhm.
One of yeah, but and one of them is Blackadder, where again both exactly the same, both basically giving a short explanation of the long-winded explanation of alliances here, alliances there, and all the rest of it, and how one man getting killed can start a worldwide war. But as I said, I mean, where Blackadder does it to George, it seems to me is a very good, funny, which is also exactly how Horrible Histories approaches it. Short description, very short introduction, by no means detailed, of
Yeah.
how it happened. And I think it did. It just,
I'm so depressed after watching the Hulk, the She-Hulk.
go back and watch
Yeah,
it. Time
you're more depressed after
He's like-
that than the World
Well,
War
So
apart from maybe
depressed.
And I won't tell you I enjoyed Strange New Worlds then.
Oh God! I, as I said, I won't watch that out of principle because it's
Yeah.
it's
I
absolutely
understand.
endorsing.
I
yeah.
understand.
You got to have some principles in some
Yeah.
things. Like, and I agree with Ian. There were some. I won't watch She-Hulk, but after all the crap I've heard about it already, because we have plenty of friends that watch it and take the bullet for us, right, Father? So
Do you know-
yeah.
The whole premise, it doesn't make any sense, right? So it's meant to be a comedy, okay, right? But they
Yeah.
threw logic out the window. If Bruce, if that happened to my nephew, my cousin, and I was a scientist, I'd be trying to cure her,
Mhm.
not trying to make her accept, this. Wouldn't
Right.
you? You'd be like, let's try and find a cure,
Mm.
that kind of
Yeah,
thing.
no.
But he's not. He's like training her, like for what?
Well, he's trying
I
to
mean?
train her.
Yeah,
She doesn't
well,
believe
Well,
it, remember,
yeah.
because
Well, that
she's the
doesn't explain the fight at the end of the first episode.
yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Well,
It's stupid.
that's what I'm saying. Where I ducked out on was on Moon Knight, and I was like, no, I'm just
Ugh,
done.
Moon Knight was so
I,
bad.
yep. Okay. Like I think I said this 2 weeks ago or a week ago. Well, we were on the Thursday night throwdown. I've never seen culture get so upset on Thursday night throwdown stream and actually cuss several times.
Yeah,
Because
but
Moon
when
Knight- Moon
when
Knight's
culture
one
gets
of-
upset, he doesn't really get upset.
Well,
he just
but-
kind of
but
talks
Ian,
a little
we know
fast.
what we're talking about, right? You know
So-
he was irritated.
Yeah.
Was he broadcasting from Vegas?
I don't know because I haven't seen anything yet. No. So
Okay.
I was gonna go, but I didn't have a way to get down there. I would have been down there, but I didn't have a way to get down there. Or I
It
would
looked
have
like
went.
they had a good turnout. I don't know
Yeah,
if Nick
apparently.
Weiser went.
Yeah.
Well, happy birthday, Gary! If you're watching.
Yeah.
this.
Happy birthday, Gary.
ah,
Yep, he's 1 year and 10 days older than I am.
Have you
I'm
noticed that
checking-
his beard is getting a bit curly? He's not maintaining his beard. Have you not noticed that?
No, he-
I think it's the
Yeah.
Texas. It's the Texas in him.
Oh, is
He's
it?
gonna go full
He's going
on,
cowboy.
there.
He's gonna go full on and
Oh, is he?
the gray.
He's not
Yeah.
going cowboy. He's going country.
I sent this to him last night, and I'm just going to play a little bit. I know it won't get copyright struck.
Yeah.
Here we go. This
Gotta
is
be
from the
careful,
Babylon
Father.
B. No. This is Babylon B.
Mm.
Oh,
I
I saw
sent
this.
this-
This is hilarious.
It is.
I saw this. I was laughing.
In these seas, you gotta watch your step up there. And in Los Angeles, with all the homeless camps, the tents and drugs are everywhere.
It's true.
In Africa, Newsom drops some 15,000 bucks on wine. But in the rest of the state, with all the mass bandits, they keep us all locked up real tight. I wish we all could leave California. I wish we all could leave California. I wish we all could leave California now.
Well, you can leave, just don't come over to Arizona.
But I mean, that is really well done.
Hey, you want the good ones to come out of California. I want to
Yeah,
get
me
out of California. I'm trapped here like a rat.
Roman, you would
Um,
be welcome over here to Arizona.
But it's the others. It's the others who want to infect
Yeah.
your state with California. The rest of us are like refugees here, man.
Yeah,
It's just like
you would be welcome. We just don't want the crazy ones that screwed up.
Well,
everything
what
over in
what part
California.
do you live in California? Which part?
I am down in San Diego County. I'm about 25 miles east of San Diego proper,
Right.
in one of the towns called Santee, which is one of the few last bastions of conservatism in Southern California.
Ooh.
I'm trying to remember. I think it was an Alistair MacLean thriller who was a writer in the 60s and the 70s. A lot of he, for example, wrote The Guns of Navarone and Ice Station Zebra, which both made into very good films.
Oh, Ice Station Zebra was so good.
He had. I'm pretty certain it was San Andreas, where the plot was someone was going to basically trigger the San Andreas fault.
Mhm.
I think, okay, yeah, do that. I mean, we'll send in the SEALs or the SAS, the SBS, or whoever to rescue Roman and all the other same people. Then we just trigger the San Andreas fault, and California can float off into the Pacific on its own.
You know, I'm not opposed to that plan at all. We're open to rescue.
Well, here's another thing, and I think Gary brought this, and I say to the comics, if they do try to do that, sure to do what they've been trying to say, they're succeed or some, it ain't gonna go good. But because
Oddly
So
enough, I made a
with,
similar. Sorry, come on.
so no, so
no.
Ian, you were talking about why the show is so bad. I mean the
yeah,
Yeah.
the Shulk, as I'll call her.
yeah,
It's not unintentional, and they're obviously, but they make these shows so that people like us will say these shows are bad,
mm-hmm.
and then they yell at us for saying that your show is bad.
Yeah,
Remember, the core comic book viewing audience hasn't really changed. It's still the same basic demographic. Your 18 to 45-year-old males. The female, I have another YouTube friend, coworker.
mm-hmm.
I don't know, but he's like he kind of enjoyed the show, and it's like, okay, I can't beat you up for that. It's you enjoy what you enjoy.
Yeah.
But he's like, I get it. It's like, this show wasn't made for me.
Yeah,
And it's like, okay, but these are superhero shows. They're the ladies drinking wine sad at night at 9 o'clock
It's
on
Ally
a Friday
McBeal,
because they're alone
basically.
are not watching She-Hulk. But that's
Yeah.
who it was made for.
yep. Ally McBeal, She-Hulk, basically.
Yes.
Well, I saw someone post. It's Ally McBeal and Sex and the City. I think it was on a cartoon. It was on a YouTube video, and my response was, "Well, that's two shows I've never seen." So
But
no reason for this one then.
the real crime here is, okay, right, so I never went to film school, okay, right, I had to learn everything by doing and watching and stuff like that, but I do know the fundamental basics of writing a screenplay, whether it be for a TV series or a movie. There are three things that you have to get right. One, you have to get logic right, no matter if it's a comedy or whether it's whether it's a drama, and two is the 3-act structure in the script. Now, if you ignore all that stuff, like most Disney films and TV shows have these days, then you don't really have a good product. And if you concentrate on something that's actually nothing to do with the subject matter, which is the agenda, which is what they're doing, you still don't have a good product. And this is the crime. This is the big crime, but also the biggest crime of all, as I said, it's trying to teach young boys not to be men or
Yeah.
do you understand
Every
what I'm
man in
saying?
this show
And I
is
think
bad.
that's the biggest crime of it all. And also it's very sad for me as a person, and looking at my nephews and my cousins and all them. A lot of them are quite clued up, actually know what's going on, but I just don't understand where this is, where it's come from. Why are they trying to do this? It's not like we're trying to put women down. We've never
Yeah.
tried to put women down at all, ever. It's not like we were in a war between sexes. We were never in a war between sexes. One gave as good as the other. But now it seems to just go in a ridiculous.
I don't know
height.
about that. I just finished the book Revenge about Meghan Markle.
Yeah, but that's today. That's what's happening today, Father. You know, if you
I
go
know,
back,
but I
if you
mean,
go
I'm
back-
just saying the sexist. I can't. It's gonna be fun when she goes back to the UK.
well,
Oh, you can keep her. You can keep them both.
No,
Yeah.
it makes
She's
it-
gonna go back
I-
sooner or later.
I say this is a royalist. You can keep them both.
Operation 1812 backfired. In other words, the British burned down the White House, so we sent them Markle. Well, that backfired on us.
Well, as I said,
unbelievable.
it's in. I think what's happening now. I think it's obviously being instigated by people that are just absolutely mental, and it just seeps into all our
Mhm.
pop culture stuff. And it's really, I actually, as I said, right, and this is no lie, I felt really. I only watched this because Dan sent it to me, and obviously he's going to be talking about it soon. So I watched it, but I actually felt sad when I was watching this because of what they were trying to put in the show.
Well, have you seen the stuff about Andor already?
And I don't want to touch Endor.
Oh,
Endor has
you know,
no place in this world at all.
I know. It's for content.
yeah.
So, I mean, you know the characters, you know that
Yes,
series is
yeah.
coming, but you already have a female lead on the show who is doing exactly what the female leads have done on all the Disney Plus stuff at this
I
point.
was,
They are already alienating the male audience because of what they are trying to project. Disney Plus female stars cannot get out of their own way. And they already I mean, I guess it's not the buzz you want about your show. I'd be really curious what the numbers actually look like for She-Hulk when it all comes down. Because, and like I said, there are people like me who are watching it. Just I know what it's going to be, and I want to make content from it. But I think there's probably a very small part of the populace is actually watching this to enjoy it.
Mm.
I mean, there's two things about that get me. I mean, from what I've seen of the advertising for She-Hulk, I'd admit, which is admitted not necessarily everything from what I've seen of it. The bits I'm thinking, hold on a second, why are they using CGI? It would look better if they used green paint when they're just green-skinned humans. Sorry, the Orions in the original Star Trek look more convincing than CGI green tint skin. And the other thing is, it seemed partly an answer to some of Sunshine's comments there. Everything seemed, the bits you said, all seemed to be, I've just turned into She-Hulk and I'm already better than Bruce at everything. What, that I wonder if the people, especially after some of the things I've heard, some people's opinions on, I forgot what it was now. One of the recent ones.
Captain Marvel.
No, not Captain Marvel. No.
Ms. Marvel.
No. It's one of the recent. I'm definitely having a senior moment here, and I'm not even old enough to be a senior citizen.
Boomer.
Yes, but by definitely. But it's had one of it had a lot better reactions from some places than you would have expected. I'm wondering if there's a degree of the people in charge of the publicity and the advertising for these shows are deliberately aiming them at one particular demographic.
Oh, it has been.
Which does,
But
while ignoring the fact that yes, it has got these aspects in it. It has got this modern pop, but not as much. But not as much as we show. Because all the advertisement seems to be showing.
Have you stopped? That sentence just stopped.
It is
Waiting for more.
oversaturation. There's too much stuff, too quick, too soon. I don't care.
It's very, as I said, it's very sad, and I really like this actress because she used to be in that Canadian BBC American show. BBC America.
The BBC America show was. Really
I can't remember what it's called. It's brilliant. She's absolutely. She's a brilliant actress.
Yeah,
this
she's
kid.
awesome. It's just like I said, and I would say this when Jodie became the Doctor. Jodie's the good actress when she was on Broadchurch with her and David. They were excellent over there. But the minute they put her on Doctor Who, it went to shit.
Oh!
Yeah. I did it again.
All I can say right now is shame.
That's
Look what you've done, Jed.
I've been rowdy this week, haven't I?
She was in, what was that show called?
Yeah. It's the
Only
thing.
we had a
remember what
way
it's
to
called.
look things up.
She was brilliant in that show. She played
Yeah,
loads of different parts.
yeah.
She was fantastic. Absolutely.
I don't know the actress, but the odd thing is I do know her brother because her brother, and I had to look it up on IMDb because her name, her brother, Daniel, is in Murdoch Mysteries. And oddly enough, for current day, the character that he plays, well, actually was one of the sort of semi-woke storylines, which is reasonably good, is gay in early 20th century Canada, right? But the actor's not gay. He's actually married with kids. So I thought, okay, so that's not very.
PC.
So I don't know her, but because I recognise the surname, I know
She
her
is.
brother.
Yes, she, as I said, she's a brilliant actress, and it's a shame that she's been dragged into this nonsense. It's
Yeah.
obvious they're getting big wage packets. The reason why they're doing this, 'cause I know for a fact that Anthony, the guy who plays the Falcon, he's against all this nonsense. That doesn't explain why he's doing it, and the only explanation is
Yep,
there's
there he is.
loads of noughts in his paycheck. You know, I mean,
I
there's no
wish
way.
Disney Marvel would stop making any content, quite honestly.
Yeah, like
I do. It needs a 10-year rest. The superhero genre after Endgame, well, I'm taking Captain Marvel out of that. We're just going to cut her out like a cancer and put it over here. But the
yeah,
rest of the Infinity Saga was very good. You had a
Yeah,
couple
it
that were a
was.
little bit wonky, the Ant-Man movies, whatever, but by and large.
Yeah.
So post Endgame, everything has been sketchy. I mean, Doctor Strange had good moments, but good moments does not make a franchise.
But have you noticed that
I
on
like the Sam
Phase-
Raimi parts. That's the stuff. The only
Yeah.
parts of that,
Yeah.
that I really liked were the
Have you
Sam
noticed
Raimi ones
that
were obviously
Phase
Sam Raimi, but
Phase 4 never had a point?
no,
Phase 1, or was
Yeah,
it Phase? The first 10 years had a point. It was leading up to the last
Yeah,
movie.
Phase
Phase
1,
4
2,
had
3,
no
4.
point whatsoever. It's not going anywhere.
No, it's bumbling. It's just stumbling around the store drunk at this point. And this, like so many other franchises, it apexed, and now it has nothing to do but decline and try to drag the legacy down with it. And they're doing a pretty good job of that.
The point of
That
Phase
now
4,
DC's got a chance to actually steal what Marvel had
If
created.
DC
now, if they,
could actually get
Yeah.
their stuff together, though, they
Yeah.
haven't
Yeah.
done that yet.
yeah,
the point of
definitely.
Phase 4 seemed to be to bring down all the stale male white straight heroes from before, and B, set up the TV shows.
Poorly.
Poorly.
Well, yeah. I'm not saying when I said the TV shows. I'm saying the TV show. I mean, I watched WandaVision,
That's
which
terrible.
I enjoyed pretty much up until it went into color. The first 2 or 3 episodes I actually quite enjoyed.
Yeah,
So-
you were wondering what was going
Yeah.
on, but then
Yeah.
then all the
It
agenda
took a steep
started
turn.
creeping
It went
in.
bad
Exactly.
quick.
Yeah.
I watched the first episode.
I think his mic went off. Hello.
Uh-oh.
yeah.
Sorry, now
Well-
my internet's naff on his computer.
All right.
I said I think I watched all of the first episode of Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Yeah, I watched
I
the
certainly
first.
haven't watched anything.
Oof, that was so bad.
It was, well, the first 15 minutes of Winter Soldier was
No, when they
absolutely
were
brilliant,
when they were
wasn't it?
doing
Yeah,
the thing
on a
with
mission.
the
Yeah.
helicopter and the plane
Yeah.
and that, yes, because it was
was.
action and it was fun. But man, that was all you got out of that show.
They-
I have endured most of the Marvel Disney Marvel series. I didn't watch Miss Marvel because I literally had, even for content's sake, I couldn't do that to myself. And I didn't watch Hawkeye for much of the same reason. The only one that they put out that I liked was the What If cartoons. I enjoyed those. I thought they were fun. All of their live content I have enjoyed. Loki, for heaven's sake, Loki. I've enjoyed zero of it, and
Yeah.
I wish that wasn't the case. But
I had my Loki. I struggled through that. There were some points where Loki was awesome, and struggled through Hawkeye because they're trying to make Hawkeye like you said, downplayed it again. But then after it and Doctor Strange, like, here's my thing, and I've had other people. I do not hate Marvel. I grew up with Marvel and DC. I have like 12 long boxes. Yeah, 12 long boxes of comics. Okay, it's just I hate to see how they're taking a direction where they're trying to put the messages in there.
Yeah, but Marvel's dead.
Yeah.
But
Well, you know.
Marvel and DC are dead now, and
Yeah.
same thing with Disney as well. Because I remember they used to have Disney time on the BBC,
Mhm.
and it was
we had
we
it
used
here
to
as well.
as kids
Yeah.
we used to lap that
Yeah.
stuff up.
It was like
But-
Sunday evening or something.
Oh,
but
God,
Yeah.
it was great.
Yeah.
Well, it was a staple of bank holidays and that.
It
'cause
was,
you-
yes,
'cause
absolutely.
You not only had clips from the film, you also had back when Disney used to do this thing called when their version of live action animal shows was
Oh
live
yeah,
action. It
Mm.
was documentaries. You know, you have documentaries about lions, and they tell us they tell a story, and you knew when you grew up, you got to understand and actually know. Okay, it was selected, but it was there for the flavour, and the lion's name wasn't really Patrick or whatever. But they do
What?
it. And
I was lied to.
Hey,
but no, but
Father.
they did this. And they follow the label through, but they did it well, and it was it wasn't CGI masquerading as live action lions actually talking. It was
Hey,
it was a nature documentary.
Father, can you highlight that comment what Sunshine said?
This one.
Yeah, she said, I had so many comics reading teachers told me I read too much. I did the same thing. I got told that I read too much. I had a comic book, or I had Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy in my hand, or I had Wizard of Oz, or I had the Never Ending Story. I had some fantasy sci-fi, some awesome. I had my comics and I had my books throughout and I still have all my stuff. When I moved, the only book that I had was this version of the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy that had all the books in one book.
Mm.
So-
To ask you guys a question, okay? Do you feel that because you have to ask yourself that question, do you feel that we're in the wrong and this is the way the world should naturally evolve when it comes
this
to
is
stuff
the world
like
being
this?
turned upside down very intentionally to cause chaos.
Yeah, it is.
But are you okay, Roman? Are you from a big family? Because the reason why I say that is because
I'm not.
every time I talk to my family about this, they look at me like I'm an alien
Yeah,
from another
I
planet.
get this. I get the same looks and everything else that you get. I've got it.
Do you
They're
talk
so
about this
weird.
stuff when you're talking to parishioners, Father? Do you? I mean, is this a concern for you?
Define parishioners. I mean, if I'm not going to talk to my older parishioners about it, but I mean, I talked about it to the kids, and a lot of them. One of my kids said Doctor Who died with the 10th. Another hates Jodie. Yeah, I mean, I basically have let it be known I don't care about She-Hulk. I don't care about.
What about they, them, and all that stuff with your parishioners? Do you ever talk about that stuff?
They, them, the movie? No.
No, but you know what I mean. This whole thing that's happening. Do you ever? Does it ever come up?
It depends on the parishioner if they have a similar interest.
Right.
One of my parishioners is actually looking forward to Lord of the Rings: Ring of Power. I told him I think it looks like. Well, I told him I think it looks like a garbage fire.
Just on Lord of the Rings, right? I don't know if you guys know. Has anybody got Photoshop? Okay, right.
We can get the Legion of
Okay,
Namers
so the
on.
reason
I have Photoshop.
the reason why if you have the legit Photoshop, the reason why I say that is because when I click on Photoshop, a picture of the woman from the new Lord of the Rings thing comes up before my thing is loaded down. I actually sent a picture to Gary. I don't know whether he got it or don't know whether you've seen it yet, but I actually can send you the picture, Father. It's absolutely
well, I
ridiculous.
do have Photoshop, so
I also wanted to point out what Sunshine said down there. That she said, although I had added the fun of getting the crap beat out of being a girl collecting comics because it was a guy's hobby. No, it was a guys and girls, because when I was in grade school, and everybody knows I'm almost like a couple years away from being 50, girls and guys, when I was little, but this was back in the late 70s, early 80s, guys and girls were still doing comic books. It wasn't just a guy's thing, and I got to make that widely known.
No, that's not true. It was considered a guy's thing, just like football in those days was considered a guy's thing.
When I grew up, it was a guys and girls thing. It wasn't.
No, I know what she means though, because in those days, girls were kind of in mind separated from the boys. They did their thing, boys did their thing. Yeah, it was very rare that you met a girl that was into comics, especially the 80s or beginning 80s. But when I was a kid,
over here, if you found a girl that was into all this, you latched onto her and you kept her around you.
Well, I mean,
That's
look,
because she's one in literally 300,000, Jed.
Yeah.
do you know what? I've worked with a lot of actresses, up and coming actresses, and the last actress that I worked with, we were sitting having lunch, and she mentioned that I mentioned I was just talking. I was saying, oh yeah, Return of the Jedi, and John Williams is freaking amazing, and suddenly her eyes lit up, and she goes, "Oh, do you listen to soundtracks too?" And I almost fell off my chair. I mean, this girl was insanely beautiful, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, this girl listens to soundtracks from movies?
Oh yeah.
What's happening here? Do you know what I mean? It was really weird. That's what she means.
To your earlier point about discussing, having these discussions with others. I mean, I have a close circle of friends. Obviously, we share a lot of similar ideas. Now, I have another friend who is more in the gray neutral territory, and his nephew was over this last weekend, and he's a fresh young man. He's 21, and so I was talking about a lot of the things like I would be talking to my regular friends. He's like, "Oh no, I love that." Literally speaking, he's looking forward to the Lord of the Rings. He loved the sequels for Star Wars. All the things that I hate, he loves. And we didn't get into a heated argument. I just thought it was very amusing.
So Roman, you have an Esh too, like I do. You have an Esh. Because on our channel, Esh is the wing. Father knows this. Because that's the reason why he's smiling.
No, I'm just laughing.
But you own Esh on our channel, on the Archivist channel. He loves the prequel, the Disney sequels. He loves Doctor Who. But I don't rip at him because he's like I adopted him. He's like my little brother. I'm not going to make fun of other friends and family that like this because we all grew up in a different way, but I still love all my friends and family that love all this stuff. I'm not going to.
I just find it fascinating. And like I said, and when Father pulled up that chart earlier, there's not a lot of in the middle on this.
No, there isn't.
You're either over here or you're over here.
Yeah, and I've seen.
And I would argue probably whatever your social views are the way that's going to lean.
See, I would give it
it's not just this.
I give it a 3.
What, the She-Hulk?
Yeah.
I wouldn't even give it a 1. It's very insulting.
Ian, that's because you're super hardcore and things.
It is terrible, really.
But I'm just saying, I mean, with the review bombing, I mean, you got the people on both sides.
No, I would probably go 1 because even if let's pretend there's no superhero element in this, we'll take that out. We'll take out all the man bashing. We'll put that over here as well. So now we've taken out 2 of the 3 pillars of the show. What's left? What's left is a poorly written lawyer comedy.
It's not even a comedy.
It's supposed to be though.
It's not.
It's not like a straight up comedy. It has comedic elements.
Yes, I did watch it. I did not care for it.
It's not funny.
Man bashing?
Let me see if I can find the comment.
Did you? Clearly, we didn't watch the same show.
Oddly enough, that's the comment. I've coming to the idea that actually more and more you do actually see what you're seeing with these shows, possibly through a preconception lens. But I think it's getting harder and harder not to. I mean, Father, you were talking about when you brought out that thing before, reminding me. I think it was Captain Marvel back when a few years ago, when they started coming out about, you started getting accusations of review bombing this and on Rotten Tomatoes. I actually looked. I didn't spend hours, but I took quite a while to look at them, and most of the negative comments that were at least several words and were at least different things, bringing up potential valid idea. Most of the positive comments were almost literally word for word the same,
Yeah.
and had absolutely no detail, no
Here.
nothing. They were just
You're going to play
what-
something,
what- what-
Father?
Yeah, I'm gonna play a clip from IMDb, so it shouldn't be struck.
Here's the thing, Bruce. I'm great at controlling my anger. I do it all the time.
See, that's the thing.
Here's the thing, Bruce. I'm great at controlling my anger. I do it all the time. When I'm catcalled in the street, when incompetent men explain my own area of expertise to me, I do it pretty much every day, because if I don't, I will get called emotional or difficult, or might just literally get murdered. So I'm an expert at controlling my anger because I do it infinitely more than you. Here's the thing, Bruce. I'm great
That's
at
when she
controlling
hulked
my anger.
out, and then just to show that she wasn't losing
So-
it,
so-
she returned back.
Sunshine, we are never going to agree on this.
The thing about this, Sunshine, is that in Disney, in the world of Disney, there is no good men, right? They even slagged off Captain America, who saved hundreds and thousands of people through the war, and when he was defrosted from ice, and yet they were taking the mick out of him being a virgin, and also exactly what she said there, right? About men, whatever. Why do you have to portray men as sexist in these Disney stuff? And it's not only this stuff as well. It's Miss Marvel. They did that with too, and they done it with they did it with the Multi Madness, where that film's called Doctor Strange. The only thing they didn't do it in was Spider-Man: No Way Home.
And I want to see this about Sunshine. This was messed up that she said, I have trained my supervisor and got laid off while 5 months pregnant because a woman couldn't be a supervisor. That's bull. Okay, caught myself. That's crap. And that should have never happened right there.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's terrible to do that to somebody because they were pregnant. They should have, like, you gave you pregnant leave and go, hey, your job's going to be safe. You can come back. Don't do that. That's bloody ridiculous. And I think
That's actually
distasteful.
illegal now. So
yeah, and that's distasteful.
Why couldn't what's the woman's name in this? Who's She-Hulk in her character's name? I can't remember.
Jennifer Walters.
Okay, why didn't Jennifer Walters? Why didn't she have a male partner that was encouraging her? Why was it?
He had to be a jerk. They had to.
Yes, I'm saying, why was it that?
Okay,
because
okay,
you can't
in the
have
comics, like, to be honest, in the comics, she's had some not so great guys. So, yeah.
But that doesn't mean to say you should portray every man in every TV show and every movie as idiots.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And sexist as well, because we know that's not true in the world. We know that.
If that's been Sunshine's experience, that's a terrible experience, and it should not have happened. But
it's also not every man in the world.
No, exactly.
Which is the way that Disney Marvel portrays it. There are no good men. Ian just said it. There are no good men in their universe.
But
look how they described what's his name, Tony Stark. Bruce said, Tony Stark created this for me, although he just sat near the bar and got drunk. Do you know what I mean? He didn't only do that. He created an Iron Man suit. He saved millions of people. Right, him and the Avengers. He was responsible for financing the Avengers. He was responsible for saving the world, the universe.
Yeah.
Why didn't they mention that? They had to go down on Stark saying he was drunk. Do you know what I mean? And that's just one example out of many examples in this episode.
There's something also though that did make me think that was one of the clips there, and I'm not getting at anyone in particular at all. Certainly not you, Sunshine. As I said, if that's been your experience, that's terrible, and it should not have happened to you.
Yeah, it
but
shouldn't.
I wonder if, going back part to what we were saying before, a lot of this, let's be honest, a lot of what we experience of the world, we experience it how we perceive it. I do wonder how much of, please don't call them on it every time, but I wonder how much is people have been taught by media in general to expect this sort of thing. If you get told men, it seems for if you get told this, and this, you're going to look out for that, and you're going to see it and you're possibly going to see it, and you're going to see something that way.
Mhm.
Yes, exactly, Sunshine. We all see this through the lens.
Yeah, and
And
I
I-
agree. I totally agree with her because we all see stuff through lenses and everything else. You know? And
We do. I'm not
I
going to apologize for every man on the planet, though. I'm simply not. I've had bad men bosses and bad female bosses. You know, people who get promoted over you, who you are far more competent than, regardless of gender. It happens. It's just that's the way the world is. Now, yeah, can it happen the other way? And it is specifically aimed. Yes. However, when you build a show that is supposed to be entertaining based on every negative male aspect, then I don't find entertainment in that.
Well, on that note, I hate to do this, but I do have to start wrapping up
That's
because
I know
school's
you
letting
gotta go.
out soon, and I
Yeah,
gotta head
kids.
over.
But I
So-
do want to bring this up, and I have to say this because and I know this gets shown out. I don't hate women. I love women. I grew up with women. I was raised by women, and I gotta say this so nobody thinks this. Okay, my grandmother was the foundation that made me who I am, and my aunt. Okay, my aunt and my grandmother. Okay, I love women and I love them to death. And most times, and I'm going to say this, and this is going to give me some flack. Women help us out there all the time. And I'm going to get some shit from this from other guys who are interviewers. But no, I'm being the neutral party right here. We
Yes,
have to have that. You know what I'm saying?
We
I love women. I love both. But then, you know, some of the shit that Disney's done over the past few years, it's just ridiculous.
All I can say right now is shame, 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 shame.
I know.
But what
I
did
know.
Dave
But
Chappelle say?
I'm making a point. I want to make a point. I'm not a woman hater or any.
No,
of
no
this.
one is.
I just hate.
We-
I hate the politics that
we,
people. like to do.
we are designed depending upon whatever
Yeah.
your belief system is
Yeah.
by the Lord, by nature, whatever. We're designed to complement each other.
Yeah.
That's what we should do. That's what we should recognize, and that's what we should. That I think is
Yeah.
how we should do it, and that is the best. I think it's
But
the way to get on best.
With
It's
that,
acknowledge
I
that.
do
Okay.
gotta hit the end button.
Well, that's
So
fine.
You found a
Thank
stick us
every-
off.
thank everyone for joining me, and we'll do it again.